Directive, we're going to be taking into the tech marketplace. We've closed Uber and Snap the last couple months. What other big like kind of tech name brands? I mean, Uber and Snap.
Uber and Snap are pretty big.
Yeah, it's about as big as it gets. And,
you know, with our niche more on like the SaaS side of things and attracting more like B2B pipeline generation, we haven't seen many of them fall through the cracks naturally. And even
I mean, we just closed a big engagement with Supermetrics.
Which I mean, that's perfect for the TAM we're going after. We're going after Supermetrics currently, but the tech TAM just completely opens it up.
I'm so excited about the tech TAM. I mean, just us being able, you know, right now, I think what I learned about B2B SaaS was we got to the mountaintop of it. You know, we've had some competitors who came. Looks like they're going to go.
Yeah.
They try to compete with us. And I think everybody thinks it's easier than it is. And I think Directive, what do I like to say? We got gills.
Yeah. Gills, grit, however you want to say it.
We live in the mud. We can grind it out. We can do the hard crap longer than everybody else. We can work more hours for longer without losing our soul. Because I think you have to keep your values. You have to keep your soul. You have to keep your passion for customers. I think what happens is it is really hard to have a professional services firm, especially as your reputation gets bigger and as you charge more. Right? When you charge more, you have to get more results. And it gets really hard to consistently get big outcomes for customers. You have to have new systems, new hiring mechanisms, new talent development, new management. But Directive is resilient. It's tough. It's got gills. It can live in the mud. And I think what happens is competitors come along and they see how much market share we have. They see how successful we've been. And they try to do it themselves. But they don't like getting punched in the face nearly as bad as we do. There's like a sickness to us where we just like the pain, where we like getting customer results. We don't ever want to blame the customers. We want to take full accountability for ourselves. We want to push through the roadblocks and we want to get customer outcomes. And I think we get customer outcomes more often across more people than anyone in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what it really comes down to.
And the market's more mature. I think like under the umbrella of what we do, which, you know, you could say we're an SEO agency. You can say we're a PPC agency. Like we fall into those categories. And for the longest time, even within our niche, companies were like looking to check those things off the list. They're like, oh, this is technical marketing. All my, you know, founder friends say they're doing it. Like I should invest in it too. Check. They find an agency for it. But now it's like, oh, these things should be driving growth of this company. Let's track it. In a very detailed way. And all the agencies that were out there maybe checking boxes, they're now being held accountable to things they weren't built to be held accountable for. They don't know how to achieve it.
But we've been tracking client outcomes, like how often we accomplish outcomes for customers explicitly, pipeline related or revenue related, for over 2 years.
Yeah, more than that. There was a CMO, Sean.
You're right. This all goes back to Aegis.
This all goes back to, I think.
Shout out you, Sean. Sean Black, I believe.
Yeah, Sean Black.
Shout out you, Sean.
He was one of our first like B2B SaaS tech companies.
And he was the real deal. He was the real deal.
He was, I don't know if his title was CMO back then, but when he onboarded us, and it wasn't through like a Salesforce or a crazy multi-touch attribution model, he had a spreadsheet.
Marketing in its purest form.
Attributed every marketing channel campaign through pipeline to revenue. And he's like, you guys work off this. It was one of our first like bigger B2B accounts, probably the largest contract.
And when we could do it, when no one else could, and we did it for him, and we bought into it and said, no, we want to be accountable to revenue.
Yeah, we're like, oh, this is the way. That's the way we saw it back then. It was like, oh, shoot, this is how you do this stuff. Like,
we learned from our clients. We still do.
It makes an impact on these things that mean way more than leads or clicks or anything like that. So I always go back to that date.
You're totally right. Sean made us big boys. And I think what made us different is when we got held accountable to what greatness looked like, it made us more excited and more passionate.